Hello, our friends, evolutionary energy arts family.
Welcome back for more punishment.
Yes, let's prepare, guys. 2026 is going to be an enormous year. And I do think it's going to be bigger than 2025 in terms of mega changes. The planet is waking up, and we're all here, the ones that are awake, I should say, to awaken even more. Get a little more caffeine going through those veins, so to speak, and share that knowledge with others. So this was a member exclusive. This was on Patreon, also on YouTube, and you could join Patreon for as little as $1 a month. It does help support us through these tough times and keep us going. And we're over 6,000 videos into this.
We are, and we really appreciate your support every step of the way. Thank you. It helps us keep going, and this way we get to stay together, and we appreciate your help.
Yes, absolutely. So look at this. Wow. Yes, at massive volume. What's Elon talking about? SpaceX is going to produce starships like they're airplanes. Starships like they're airplanes. At a massive volume, Elon himself says maybe as high as 10,000 ships a year. That's just mind-boggling. 10,000 of these spaceship rockets a year. I think there's a lot of people that are going to they're going to have their knees shaken so much when the realization of what's really been going on the planet all their lives, and their parents' lives, and their parents, and their parents. This is going to be staggering. So a 250 million gigabay at Starbase. The company is accelerating Starship production. 700,000 square foot facilities designed to manufacture up to 1,000 rockets a year at this point. But looking to go 10 times that. What if I told you in a Bronze Age people could live 1,000 years? What if I told you in a Silver Age people could live 10,000 years? We've been in a Kali Yuga, guys, and we have been in the darkest of the dark period, and that's because the wool has been pulled over our eyes. But now we're pulling that wool away, and we're looking at what's really going on. First we're building a moon base on the moon, and then Mars is the next stop. Reality is changing. It's changing very, very rapidly. But this is yet another cycle of which the planet has gone through numerous of these cycles. So we go through a forgetting, and in the Kali Yuga, it's again an absence of light. Light is knowledge. It's experiential knowledge, not BS knowledge, not his story, but real knowledge that you experience for yourself, so you know. And this is again what the Gnostics were talking about. Now we see that there's so much hidden under our feet. 1992, a Chinese farmer dug a well. Researchers still cannot explain what he found in the depths. The underground city that was discovered was apparently more than 2,000 years old and was built using a technology that's not used today, at least openly. And this we find all over the world. All over the world. In South Africa, there are mines that predate the existence of Homo sapiens. Who was in those mines? Well, obviously it was the gods, right? But the gods are just beings like us. And, what did Columbus discover? He discovered opportunity. That's all he discovered, and he was representing the system. There were hundreds of millions of people alive in North America when, in 1492, Columbus sailed the open blue. LiDAR and AI reveal ancient North America was filled with vast planned cities and earthworks hidden beneath forests and towns now. Again, we're looking at Poverty Point, where Cindy and I were just there, like not even a year ago, and we could feel. What do we feel? Cindy's getting the impressions of literally an alien invasion coming from the sky while the indigenous people were gathering, and this was a bartering and trade point. It was also a point where they did celebrational ceremonies. And they literally lived a nightmare looking up in the sky and seeing these dark reptilian forces and other species too coming down and disrupting. This right here, and this is in Louisiana, experienced the Tower of Babel. This is part of that scattering of humanity, sending humanity running for cover, and sometimes down into caves, definitely into deep forests, to escape the beings that had come in the air and were terrorizing them, literally terrorizing them. When you look here, the largest copper mine of prehistoric world was in Kargali, south of the Urals. This is, over in Russia. Between 1900 and 1300 BC, they dug a staggering network of interlinked tunnels extending for hundreds of kilometers and extracting 150,000 tons of copper. Did they just do this? These backward hunter-gatherers? Really? They did this by themselves? Or were they being forced to do this by an extraterrestrial, or maybe more accurately, ultraterrestrial influence? Yeah, absolutely. Ultraterrestrial, again, it covers beings from not just outside of Earth, but in Earth, or beings that come out of the oceans, perhaps. Everything that we see around us has all been an illusion. The alien invasion happened thousands of years ago, and we're still under their control. But the light is dawning. It's getting brighter. People are waking up to the fact that we have been manipulated this whole time. This is why you get those little Wikipedias about reptilian humanoid beings, because ding, 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 you hit the truth.
I know. This is where at one point humans were living so peaceful, and they were deliberately living on the land, with the land, because they knew the benefits. They didn't want the technology. They didn't want to utilize things that they knew were going to make them sick. I mean, this is where other beings step in and they start to modernize and bring in their technology that's not so good for the planet. And this is where things started to change.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of these topics we've done lives and delved into for hours and hours, and do check out the playlists as well. Again, this is part of the big whoa, wow, light bulb moment going off in head when people realize it's always been ultra-terrestrials. And yeah, they have been here with us the whole time, and still the ones that we see that are apparently making the decisions, they're just getting the decisions from above, or maybe even from below, or literally even sometimes from under the ocean. So when we look to the ancient world, yeah, history is repeating itself. 150,000 tons of copper, right, at this time period. What's happening now? We're discovering that copper can help us grow enormous produce, and it has a lot of health benefits as well. And what's also happening? Well, the video we just did on evolutionary, there's a shortage. It's disappearing. Do you think maybe it's going off planet? Do you think maybe it's going to another portion of the planet that we're not aware of?
How convenient. It just disappears.
Yeah, this is, again, part of the big realization, the knowing that is experiential in nature. So get prepared, guys. Get ready. They tell us global warming, but we're heading into a minimum that may bring more cooling than warming. And yet again, you got to ask yourself, what about that black rock up at the North Pole? Does that have anything to do with our weather patterns? Could it be that our weather patterns are more simply controlled by a thermostat of planetary proportions?
I don't know, but I want 2 penguins.
Okay, we'll work on that. As always, guys, thanks for your support. Look forward to your comments. Source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.